Well, Craig, you talked a lot about the answer to the last question that Bill Guerin gave you. Did you know immediately when he answered that question that this was your guy?
You know, I knew immediately it was the best answer I had heard. And it was the answer that we were hoping that we would get out of each candidate. And we got the same kind of response, but honestly, it's kind of the way he did. He just kind of paused and like, are you kidding me? Who wouldn't want this job? Yeah, it said a lot and made us feel like, hey, this guy he feels the same way we do.
How different was the process in general from the last general manager search? I mean, it's only a year and a half since you were doing this before. What'd you learn from the last time that changed this one?
A number of things. First of all, we went deeper. We hired more. I mean, we interviewed more candidates. We did a more extensive job of calling references and vetting each candidate. And we had Mike Madonna with us to kind of probe in areas that we hadn't before about player sides and how would you handle players like this, and you know what do you do in the locker room, how would you know questions that Matt and I had not experienced, and he's kind of coming up with these questions that are going, wow, that's good. I can't wait to hear this answer.
At one point you had mentioned that you really preferred to find somebody with general manager experience. Instead, you went with a guy who was an assistant GM. But how much can his experience with the kind of career that he had as a player, 18 years with 8 different franchises, that means he was around a lot of different situations, a lot of different players. How much did that help to say, you know what, even though he's never been a GM, we trust that he's going to be able to handle it?
You know, it meant a lot. It really did. And I think we did have a bias toward a person with experience. And, you know, after interviewing a number of people, you know, we go kind of the next year, we're thinking of assistant GMs, and it's like, wow, there are a lot of them out there that are ready to become GMs. And they came to us with new ideas, fresh things, new discussions, you know, and experience in different teams, and what works here and what doesn't work here. And, you know, the really unique thing that Billy had is that iconic experience of being such a great player and you know, this is what we found out. He was a great teammate first, a great player second. And he's all about the team. And that's what we want here. And so that's the kind of culture that we think he can build it because he believed in it.
When you went through some of these candidates, how different was his impression of your team than some of the other guys that you interviewed?
Well, you know, everybody, you know, we understand they're being interviewed, so they're gonna say good things. Okay, so that was a given. But Billy, you know, talked really openly and candidly about where our strengths are. He loves our defense. Our defensive guys, our 4 are like the best in the league. He loves it. You can build a lot out of that. And he talked about that. He loves our goaltending. He loves Doobie. Offensively, we got guys who can score. He loves the way Zach plays. He's played with Zach on national teams. He understands Zach gets on the ice, and he's the best there is. So he said, you know, the way that he could talk about it was more from a player perspective than other people would talk about it from a scouting kind of perspective.
There was obviously tension between Paul Fenton and Bruce Boudreau under the previous regime. How important was your confidence level that Bill Guerin and Bruce Boudreau would have a better relationship when you were going through this process?
Yeah, at the time, I guess I might have been aware that there was tension, but there's tension a lot of times being a coach and a general manager. But frankly, that had no factor in our decision. And what I liked about Billy is that I'm making no knee-jerk reactions. And it may not be broke. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So let's just sit back. Let's see how this team starts off. Let's see how the camps go. Let's see how preseason goes, and we'll go from there. But right now, he is full steam ahead, and we're gonna play 110% effort.
Craig, thanks very much. Congratulations on the hire.
Thanks, Anthony.
Anxious to get it going.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much.
That's Craig Leipold, Audra.